Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to be taking a look at the math class. Now, the math class is built into Visual Basic and it allows you to use a bunch of math calculations that you would otherwise have to create yourself. So let's go ahead and do a couple demonstrations with what the math class has to offer. So we'll go ahead and create a new project. We will select Windows Forms application and we will call it Math Class and go ahead and click OK. So here's our Form 1. We're going to go ahead and shrink it down and we will add two things. We will add a list box and we'll add a couple buttons here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and rename button 1 to Pi. We'll rename button 2 to square root. So we'll just go ahead and type square root. And we'll name button 3 power. So let's go ahead and change the name field of some of these. So we'll type button pi, button square root, and we'll do button power. And we'll just leave list box 1 as the same name. So we'll go ahead and double click on Form 1 to open up our Form 1 class. And now what we'll do is we'll create events for each one of these buttons just by double clicking on each one of them, which will make a click event. So now what we're going to do is for button pi click, we're going to create a variable. So we'll declare diameter as integer and we'll set it equal to 6. And we'll go ahead and type listbox1 dot items dot add, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by typing the keyword math, which will let us access the math class, and it says provides constants and static methods for trigonomic, logarithmic, and other common mathematical functions. So we'll just type math.pi times 6. So what this is going to do is it's going to add the number in the list box, that is pi times 6. Now we'll take the square root. So we'll declare num as integer and we'll set it equal to 64. Then we'll type listbox1 dot items dot add, and we'll go ahead and type math dot square root, and we'll take the square root of 64. And for the power, we will go ahead and declare another number, so dim num as integer. We'll set that equal to 10, and then we'll type listbox1 dot items dot add math dot pow, and for our arguments we're going to have x as double and y as double. So for our x value we're going to use num, and we will just take num to the power of 2. So if we go ahead and run this, you can see here's our Form 1, and if we click pi we're going to get 18.849, and you see it's a really long decimal number. And if we click square root, we're going to get 8 because our number was 64, and 8 times 8 equals 64. And then if we click power, we're going to get 100, which is 10 to the power of 2. Now let's go ahead and just add another button here, and this is just something I wanted to throw into this tutorial. So we'll go ahead and add it right there, and we will set the text value to clear. Now we'll come up here and we'll set the name value to button clear list. Now we'll go ahead and double click on this, and we will type listbox1 dot items dot clear. So what this is going to do is it's going to clear everything out of the list box. So if we go ahead and run this, we can click power, square root, pi, and we can do that as many times as we want. And then if we click clear, it will clear everything out of our list box, and it'll give us a clean list box to start with. So go ahead and play around with the math class. There's a bunch of stuff you can use in there, such as you can use logs, you can use min, max. If you know trigonometry or anything like that, then you'll be familiar with some of these functions or constants that are inside of the math class. So go ahead and play around with those, find something that you might think is useful later on in a program you want to make, and once you're done with that, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.